Oh, wow.
Dus ja. Dus ik ben blij dat ik
Heel veel succes verder met de zaken.
It's amazing, right? Hey, what is going on, guys? James here, and welcome back to another video. Hopefully all the background noise isn't too loud and you can hear me okay. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Oris today, but I decided to shoot outside because the weather's okay. It looks like it's going to get pretty bad very soon, so I'll try and keep this nice and quick. But today we're actually going to be talking about my trip to Brussels. I tried to record as much footage as possible. By the way, I've coming down with a cold now. I've landed back in the UK and the weather change, and I'm getting a bit ill, so please forgive me. But it was a real great time in Brussels. I really enjoyed it. Beautiful place. If you haven't been, I'd highly recommend it. And I want to say a big thank you to the Griff, or Jan from the Griff Straps, for pretty much setting this whole thing up, setting up the events and everything, and giving me a reason to go out there. Obviously, I've wanted to go out there for a little while, but this gave me that reason, so thank you very much. And he was great at giving me advice on places to go, and I had a really good time overall. And go check out his straps if you haven't already. Eventually I will make a video on all of his straps. I had the perfect opportunity really whilst I was there, because he had all of his straps laid out in a nice little cabinet, but I didn't think in the time to, you know, get them all out and do some little recording bits so I could do some reviews. But next time I go down and see him, I'll make sure we get that sorted. So it started off with a great meal and a little get together. Lots of people were there, some really great people, some faces I've seen before from other events like a Dutch Wrist and a couple of others, and I got to meet River Aquayama for the first time. I think that's how you pronounce his Instagram handle. All these people, I will leave links to their Instagram down below, the ones who post watch content anyway, so I'll put all them there. But it started with the meal, and we all were just sitting around talking about watches. I bought a lot of my personal watches as well, and there was a company there called, or a brand called Avig, I think that's how you pronounce it, and they gave me a really cool cap, so thank you very much. And the guy who was there who runs the company and does all the designing of the watches, and they are really great. I'd heard of them before and I'd seen a couple on Instagram, but I hadn't actually had a chance to have a look at them. And I got quite a lot of footage of them. The design is incredible. There was one with a linen dial. It really reminded me of a vintage Rolex, and the movement they use is a manual wound Miyota, a Miyota I'd never seen before, and the decoration on it is really cool as well. So overall, very cool watches. He did have another one there. I don't know if I got any footage of that one, but I might reach out to him and see if we can do some sort of videos maybe in the future reviewing a couple of these, because I think value-wise they're incredible. And I seem to be doing a lot of work recently with a couple of the smaller brands, the micro brands, you know, like Revelo and 604 Life and a couple of these others. So it would be good to reach out to Avig and maybe get some watches in for review, or one or two, or next time I meet with him or something like that. It would just be really cool. And I'd love to interview him as well, because he's a very interesting guy. So we'll see. Lots of plans, and the sun has just come out. That is blinding. But there were lots of cool watches there, you know, De Griff or Jan's personal Speedmaster, another Speedmaster. There were some very cool watches. A Dutch Wrist, the famous Tudor Black Bay was there, so I got to obviously try that on again. It's literally Instagram famous, that watch. Instagram's most famous Tudor, I'd say. And then there was River Aquayama's Panerai. So I like Panerai. I think they make some nice watches, nice designs, but overall I would probably never ever own one. But this one is 42 mil and it is perfect. I really actually liked it. The weight of it was very nice, the design I really liked. Overall, a really great watch, and it definitely did surprise me. A nice movement as well, exhibition case back. Overall, a really cool watch. And hopefully next time I meet with you, River, you'll bring a couple of others. I know you left them. And then there was a cool gold Zenith there as well, and I'll put a little video of all the watches that were on the table. Again, there were just some very cool watches there, quite a few I brought along. It was just overall very good dinner, very good event, and lots of very cool people to talk watches with, so we really enjoyed it. Lots of photos. And then we moved on to a jeweller's called Maison de Grief, and they're not associated with De Griff straps in any way. They're actually completely different, which is something he made very clear in his email, which was quite funny. But it's very cool jewellers. The people there are very kind, and they showed us some incredible pieces. So the Tudors that they had weren't for sale. They're doing a tour across Europe, and these are the first people to get these Tudors. So to get hands-on is very rare, and I think I'm actually one of the first YouTubers who didn't go to Basel and didn't have press access to actually get hands-on with all of the new Tudors. So I feel very, very lucky. The only one I didn't get out to look at was the two-tone with the gold dial, the champagne dial, because it just really doesn't interest me at all, to be honest. But the first one I took a look at was obviously the Black Bay 36 in blue, and compared it to my personal one. Personally, I really, really like my black one. And I think if you are going to get a Black Bay 36, I still think it should be the black. But it's good that they're giving people different options, and the blues are very flat blue. It's quite nice, but I still think the black wins. The next one was the GMT, the one that everyone is going on about, and personally, if I'm completely honest, from all the photos, all the press, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think the design is nice, and I can see why people really would like it, but for me it's far too big. It wears far too big, and overall the design, I don't know, I get what they're trying to do with it. I just think the Black Bay is almost being used to death at the moment. They did the chrono, they did the steel and gold. It just seems like they're constantly doing stuff with that. And it'd have been interesting to see them have done a GMT with maybe something a bit different. Maybe not the Pepsi, maybe different colours, you know, it would have been quite nice. So personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but I can see why people would be. And I've got footage of it on the NATO strap, on the leather and on the bracelet. If you are going to go one bracelet, hands down every single time in my opinion. And yeah, I can see why people like it, but for me, no thank you. And the next one is one that I absolutely love. It is the Black Bay 58, which is the new 39mm Black Bay. And I even put it up against, you'll see in the video, against my Black Bay 36, and it is as thin as my Black Bay 36, which is just insane. Wears so well on the wrist, design is perfect. I really, really, really like this watch, and I think next year or the year after there will be new colours, different colours. There'll be like blues and reds and stuff like that. And deep down, I'm hoping for a steel and gold version in that size, because I think that would be really, really nice. But hands down, from all the new Tudor releases, that one is by far my favourite, and I'd have to say probably one of my favourites from Basel overall. And to actually have hands on with it, try it on, put it on my wrist, I really, really like it. And I think if they bring out a couple of other colours, I will probably get one. Not to say that the colour, the black with the gold sort of numerals and stuff isn't nice. I really love it, but I've just, personally I like colour, so I'd probably want to see some other colours. And the final ones with the Tudors was the Tudor 1926, which from the photos on Instagram and when it was released, I really was not impressed. It looks very boring in my opinion, and it just very boring. But in person, I have to say, it's a lot nicer, and I can see why people would really like it. Still, for me, I wouldn't personally go anywhere near it, but I know a couple of people who really like it as well. Fair enough. I think it's quite a nice dial. The design is much better in person, as I said, and it has a very nice clasp design, which I'll show. It's very similar to the Rolex, and it's hidden away with a little fold over as well. So I have to say it's pretty well done. And the dial, the details on the dial and the guilloche pattern, I think it's a guilloche, is really well done. So that's the Tudor recap. The Black Bay 58, perfect. The GMT, not for me, and I think I'm probably the only person in the whole of the world who is not a big fan of that new GMT. Everyone seems to absolutely love it and they're on waiting lists and everything like that, but it's not for me. And then we moved on to a couple of other watches that they got out for us to have a closer look at. There were some Langes, there were some Panerai, some Zeniths. There was this crazy gold Panerai which weighed a ton. And then I will finish off with the Patek minute repeater, but I'm going to let these play out. I'm not going to give my comments on these because they speak for themselves, a lot of these pieces, and the focus was the Tudors, and just the overall great event. So thank you very much to Griff, and I will let the rest of this video play out. Stay till the very end, because at the very end I will show you that Patek minute repeater. I probably showed it in the intro. It's a beautiful watch, absolutely incredible, and one from their archives or their personal collection, family collection, and it costs about 700,000 euros, which is just insane. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, all that good stuff. Go check out the website, new stuff always being put up on there. So thank you all for watching. Peace out.
I would say in store.
No.
So it's a family piece now,
Oh wow.
and I will
I'll let
make
you.
wait one second. We make this already.
Yeah, it's not so often that we can see this piece.
No, it's beautiful. Thank you.
So,
Er zijn er weinig waar ik zoveel zo nieuwsgierig ben.
Ja, maar dat is gelukt hoor. Die schaapjes, ja.
That's amazing.
But what I will do, as you can see the way it works here.
Dat was de eerste e-mailadres. Klikte dat.
Oh wow.
Dus ja. Dus hier blij dat ik
En heel veel succes verder met de zaken.
It's amazing, right?
Ja, ja.
dat is hier vlakbij.